It's 1995, and a super soldier Alexei and Black Widow Melina work as Russian undercover agents. They pose as a family in Ohio with Natasha and Yelena as their daughters. After they steal SHIELD intel, the family has to flee the country. They escape to Cuba, and Alexei gives the stolen intel to General Dreykov, who decides to separate the family and have Natasha and Yelena drugged and eventually taken to a place called the Red Room for their official widow training, which involves the use of a mind control agent. It's 21 years later and Natasha defected to SHIELD a while ago. But before she defected, she bombs Dreykov's Budapest office and she believes she killed him and his young daughter Antonia. But currently she's a lone fugitive on the run after violating the Sokovia Accords. She's able to avoid capture. Then she flees to a safe house supplied by a well-connected contact named Mason. Meanwhile, Alexei is in prison in Russia thanks to Dreykov. Melina works and lives on a farm outside St. Petersburg. And Yelena is still an active Black Widow assassin, and she's currently taking down a rogue former Black Widow. She's gassed with a synthetic gas that releases her from the Red Room's chemical mind control agent. When she realizes the importance of the vials, she grabs them and sends them to Natasha, hoping she will be able to help. Natasha receives the package at the safe house but unknowingly places the vials in her car to be discarded with the rest of what she believes is junk mail. Later she's driving into town when she's ambushed. Dreykov sends an assassin named Taskmaster to retrieve the vials. Natasha and Taskmaster encounter produces a lengthy battle and she eventually realizes one of the packages from the junk mail is the reason for the ambush. After Natasha escapes, she finds a photo of her and Yelena with the vials. Since the mail came from Budapest, she goes there and finds Yelena and the two have a heated reunion. Natasha tells her that Dreykov's dead and she's on the run, so she can't help her. As Natasha walks away, Yelena reveals that Dreykov is alive, and the Red Room is still active. Their conversation is interrupted by Black Widows infiltrating the safe house. They're able to evade the widows, but then Taskmaster begins to chase them. Eventually the chase leads them into the subway, where they try to stay ahead of Taskmaster, who's relentless, not allowing them any opportunity to end the chase. They use the blood leaking from Yelena's injured arm to their advantage, by leaving a trail that leads Taskmaster to a floor cover, while they actually escape by hiding in an air vent. After they leave Budapest, they're on a mission to find the Red Room and ultimately Dreykov. Natasha thinks she knows someone that can help, so they meet with Mason, who's only able to supply them with an old helicopter. Natasha and Yelena plan is to use the helicopter to break Alexei out of prison. They're hoping he knows how to find Dreykov. They successfully break Alexei out of prison, but he tells them he doesn't know where Dreykov is. Then he tells them Melina may know since she still works for him. They're surprised to hear she's still alive. Alexei agrees to help them by taking them to the farm Melina's been working at. Melina has been refining the chemical mind control process used on the widows by testing it on pigs. They have a very tense family dinner where Natasha and Yelena recall a lot of trauma they suffered as kids because Alexei and Melina wouldn't stop Dreykov. Natasha is able to secretly convince Melina to help them get to the Red Room and Dreykov. So the pair come up with a plan that involves them switching places before his soldiers arrive. Taskmaster and the soldiers arrive that night to take everyone in custody but Melina. Natasha, disguised as Melina, is now able to secretly access the Red Room. The Red Room is actually an aerial facility high in the sky, where the Black Widows train, and share the facility with Dreykov. Once inside the Red Room, Melina drops her Natasha disguise and reveals to Alexei and Yelena that her and Natasha plan included them being captured. Dreykov easily sees through Natasha disguise using the face mask technology. He then reveals that Taskmaster is his daughter Antonia, who suffered damage severe enough that Dreykov had to put technology in her head to save her, in turn creating the perfect soldier, capable of mimicking the actions of anyone she sees. Then Dreykov tells Natasha the reason she's unable to attack him is due to a pheromone block installed in every widow. So she eventually breaks her own nose, severing a nerve in her nasal passage to get past the block. Dreykov is able to escape her using the other Black Widows as cover. The widows overpower and restrain Natasha and they continuously attack her. Yelena blows up the remaining antidote above their heads, finally stopping the assault. Elsewhere, Melina is taking out one of the facility's engines to bring the Red Room down for good. Natasha copies the locations of other widows worldwide from Dreykov's computer as the facility begins to explode and fall. She retrieves the two remaining antidote vials on the floor. Melina and Alexei escape together using a plane. Yelena takes out Dreykov's aircraft, killing the soldiers and Dreykov in the massive explosion. Natasha grabs a parachute to save Yelena. She's successfully able to save her as Yelena starts to come to. But instantly she has to switch her focus to Taskmaster, who's in hot pursuit. Natasha is finally able to stop Taskmaster using one of the antidote vials, releasing her from the control of her father. Natasha searches for Yelena and she finds her and gives her the remaining vials so she can make more antidote. Natasha also gives her the location of the other widows around the world. A plane shows up. It's the Black Widows Yelena helped free earlier from the Red Room. Everyone gets on board but Natasha, she decides to stay.